Asia rose after the S&P 500 notched yet another record close on Wall Street overnight. Japan led the gains among the region's major markets as it gained 1.3%. Elsewhere, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index closed 0.25% higher. Looking at what's happening in Europe, European stocks traded higher as holiday-thinned trade continues in the region, with many markets still closed due to the Christmas festivities. Markets in the UK and Ireland remained closed today. Looking at what's happening stateside, US markets opened yesterday after the Christmas holiday, with indexes seeing positive momentum. Investors are looking for a Santa Claus rally to close out a year in which the S&P 500 has returned more than 27%. The benchmark index historically gains during the Santa Claus rally, and that is the final 5 trading days of the current year and the first 2 of the new year. Market players have spent recent weeks juggling concerns over new COVID restrictions and tighter central bank policy, with the early studies suggesting Omicron strain of virus is milder than the previous variants that we've had, like the Delta. But there were 3 news items, in fact probably 12, but we're going to talk about the 3 that made news this particular year. One was Bitcoin, and we're going to put that chart on screen for you. At this particular point, Bitcoin trading slightly below 49,000, but it did hold above $50,000 amid a broad risk rally. Right now at around $49,178, but it did reach that above 50,000 mark just last week, and that was basically on the currency flipping between inflation alternative and risk asset continuing into year end. Of course, as we continue to look at what's happening with that particular price, this is a year-to-date chart that shows you what has been happening with the Bitcoin price. The reduced Omicron variants have continued to lift global recovery outlook. The risk rallies have continued, and some experts believe that Bitcoin could drop sharply in the coming months. The cryptocurrency surging to a record high of nearly $69,000 in November and is now below that 49,000 mark, down nearly 30% from its peak. A professor of finance at Sussex University saying that he expects the price of Bitcoin to drop to $10,000 next year, effectively erasing all of its gains in the past year and a half. This is according to an interview he did with the international business channel CNBC in the States. But just going back to that chart that you see on your screen, this was a year-to-date chart. But if you go back to what was happening roundabout in July, we did see the outflows in that Bitcoin market continue to stall, and this was as a result of the prices. The market cap in July was down about 12.1%. Outflows reaching about $10.4 million. Some of the analysts who were analyzing Bitcoin at the time saying that it was because of the dearth of crypto investment products that had launched at that particular time, increasing the accessibility, but also leading to profit taking. But another chart that we want to put on screen is the oil price, which has extended gains over December. We're going to have that on the screen for you to see where prices are. But prices trading near the previous day's 1-month high on hopes that the Omicron coronavirus variant will have a limited effect on fuel demand. Oil prices have risen around 50% this year, supported by recovering demand and supply cuts by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, collectively known as OPEC+. Coming into the year, we had OPEC Secretary General seeing the first half of the year as being slightly mixed. He was concerned that we might not see a rebound in the first half of the year, saying that he did see some downside risks, and that rebound, he was expecting it in the second half of the year. Also going into detail to say sectors such as travel, tourism, leisure and hospitality could take years before we even get to pre-COVID levels, saying that it was too early to see where things would be going. So this is a chart again that we have on your screen, the lowest in May at around May last year at around $19.46, and right now we're about $78.62 a barrel. The final chart that has also made headlines has of course been the price of gold at this particular stage. Again, seems to be performing at that 1-week high in thin trading. It's again on the back of those easing concerns over the Omicron coronavirus variant and the strong US retail sales data that has boosted the risk appetite. The US dollar, also viewed as a safe haven, languished near the bottom end of the recent trading range versus a basket of peers, maintaining the dollar-priced gold's appeal for holders of non-US currencies and limiting the losses. Currently, we're $1,813. We did reach a high towards the end of July, just over $2,000 a fine ounce. The lowest point was towards the end of April going into June, where we traded around $1,268. The biggest news late last year was the stimulus package that we were waiting for from the US, and at that particular price, the gold price was trading at $1,900. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue our news coverage, but also look at the late Desmond Tutu's views on BEE, so stay tuned.